Number two, not only get up, but get up with some power. You're going to let somebody like Peter talk you out of you getting up out of your dead situation and receiving power. Think about it. And that's why Jesus got kind of upset with Peter. Like, rebuke that, Satan, get behind me, because I'm about to get up out of my... No, don't worry about what they're doing to me. Don't worry about that they're rejecting me. Just hold on a minute. I'm getting ready to get up. I'm getting ready to show them something. And not only am I going to get up, but I'm going to have some power. So you need to tell folks, anybody trying to hinder you, telling you need to give up because it don't look favorable. Give up because you're being rejected. Give up because they talking about you. Give up because you're being crucified. You tell Satan, get thee behind me. I'm going to have to go through this because on the other side, I'm getting up and I'm going to have some power. Don't let folk talk you out of it. I know they love you.
They don't love you.
It's some folk who don't, but now I say that to say this. There's some folk who don't understand. Like Peter, just like we just talked about. Peter wanted, no, Jesus, you're not going to stay here. You're going to stay here with us. And some folk closest to you will try to get you to stay in a dead situation so you can stay with them. That's what I mean. Okay. And even though they're doing it out of their flesh because they don't see the vision. Amen?
They see it for themselves.
Yes, some people do see it. Some people are selfish and they see it for themselves. But there are, just take your parents, for instance, or family. Some family don't understand. Say, for instance, if God told you to move somewhere. Get up, get all your stuff and move cross country. It's going to be some family members that are going to be like, you crazy, you don't need to go. And they're going to say it because they don't want you to go. And you're going to have to be like, I love you, I don't mean no harm, but Saint, get thee behind me because the Lord told me I need to move cross country. Because if I stay here with you, I won't miss my blessing. You see what I'm saying? There are folk who do it out of jealousy. There are folk who do things out of envy. There are folk who do it like Peter who just don't understand. But tempt you to stay in your dead situation. Or tempt you to stay in disobedience. Because where you're trying to go looks unfavorable. And see, you got to understand, if you got a relationship with God, they may, and they don't see what you see, then you're going to have to be confident in your relationship with God through Jesus Christ that you've heard what you heard and seen what you've seen. Because the people closest to you thinking that they are helping you and they are in your best interest are really helping you miss out on your blessing just because the situation looks unfavorable. Amen? It looks unfavorable. And let the truth be known, God works his best work in unfavorable conditions.
That's right.
In fact, he likes, I believe he likes in unfavorable conditions. And so with that said, you're going to have the world or fleshly or minded people who don't see things in the spirit are going to say, that's very unfavorable. You need to leave that alone. And you're going to have to stand in your confident relationship with God and what you heard and what you've seen. Not only for yourself, because just like Jesus, after it was all said and done and the dust cleared, he had all power and he saved generations. And so not only will we walk out with the blessing if we stay focused on God and what he said and not what people are saying, we can help not only ourselves, but all those other people. Get it? They're like, help me help you and be quiet. Shh. I'm trying to help us here. You know, that kind of thing. We got to correct our spiritual vision. And that's what that's about. correcting our spiritual vision, and not running or thinking just because it looks unfavorable that God is not going to do what he said he's going to do. Amen. And so again, the title here is the strength and the weakness of Peter. When you start mentioning rejection, many of us gonna get kind of weak. I'm gonna be rejected. See, some of us don't know ahead of time we're gonna be rejected. It's like sometimes we like a deer in headlights. I'm gonna be rejected by people that I've always hung with, people I've always known, family members. It's a shock to us, and then when you think about it, like, okay, it's going to happen when your mindset changes through your relationship with Christ. That's how Jesus can come in between people. Because one person got the mind, trying to get the mind of Christ, and the other one may not.
That's right.
My mindset is going to be different than your mindset if I'm trying to follow God and you're not.
You say you are.
Of course you say you are. Like Peter. He with Jesus. He been hanging with Jesus. But he still has not yet grasped the concept of the spiritual vision. Of suffering having to occur. Rejection having to occur. Think about Peter now. When it all came down to it, didn't he reject Jesus?
That's right.
Out of what looks like fear? From what people were saying, he denied Jesus. So think about it. You look at that and look at what he said. He was being true to himself. Rejection? That don't sound good, Jesus. I don't think I'm ready for that. And he showed us that he wasn't ready. And he had to go through that period of rejecting Jesus for him to realize who Jesus really was.
You gotta realize though, you start pulling out knives and guns and stuff like that, you start, seeing some blood flying in.
Exactly.
You really put that thing to the test.
But Peter was being true to himself right here when he said, no, that ain't gonna happen. I rebuke that.
And I'm gonna be right here to make sure it don't happen. I'm gonna get off anybody that try to make it happen.
And so Peter had an effective vision of thinking everybody was going, and here it is right here, thinking everybody going to love you and receive you because you done took on the mind of Christ. No. Trying to get to the promise. Trying to get to God's destination or calling on your life. Everybody's not going to receive it for you.
That's right.
And you're going to have to keep moving. That's right. You're going to have to keep it moving. And tell some of them folk, I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Watch. Holler. Watch, see what Jesus do. Hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute. I want to catch up with some of them folk after it's all over, after the dust done clear. Hold on a minute. I catch back up with you. I'm going to show you something. Show you what power look like. Show you what coming out of a dead situation look like. They be like, for real? How you get out of that? Oh, she talking about, you get to take notes. I'm trying to do a 6-minute recap. But we were talking about, we were from Mark chapter 8, verses 27 through 33, the strength and the weakness of Peter. Talking about the defective spiritual vision. And how, at first Peter was, he answered when Jesus asked him, who do you think I am? And Peter was the one that said, thou art the Christ. Mm-hmm. And then in a few minutes, here he go, he said, nevertheless, when Jesus went to warn about how he was going to be rejected and crucified, Peter began to be horrified and telling Jesus, no, that's not going to happen. And then that's when Jesus had to rebuke Peter. Mm-hmm. But then we're like, he just said, thou art the Christ. Again, here is our spiritual vision issue. We think everybody gonna love us, receive us when we start taking on the mind of Christ. We're gonna start being rejected. We're gonna start being crucified. Trying to get to the promise. And we're gonna have to keep it moving. And God told us we're gonna have trials. He told us we're gonna have tribulations. But many of us look like deer headlights and shocked when people reject us that we've been hanging with for years. But as I was telling, we find out that the more time we spend with Christ, the more time we spend with God in relationship, the more our thought patterns change to this world, and the world begins to reject us.
That's right.
But we don't believe it until it happens. Like Peter, no, he's trying to correct Jesus. No, that's not going to happen. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep having faith, keep having your relationship with Jesus. You're going to find out what rejection and crucifixion feel like in 2013 and 2014. And as long as you keep talking to God, you're going to feel some level of rejection. Amen?
Amen.
But think it not strange and keep it moving, because there's a promise on the other side. There's a benefit on the other side, because Jesus rose from his dead situation. And those same folks that rejected him, them same folks that crucified him, had to come to terms with he was who he said he was.
Amen.
So basically he said, you can say what you want to, but I am who I said I am. You got to find out. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So receive it for yourself. Jesus being our example. They may talk about you, they may reject you, they may even crucify you, but you're going up, raise up, you're going to have power. Amen? Amen. Somebody give God a hand clap of praise. I had to do a slight recap for our slower inners who telling me to start over. Amen. We thank God for each and every one of you. We thank God for Miss and the youth. Let me hear the youth. Where you at?
Start over.
Oh, now wait. Y'all
All right.
next door.
Yeah, you were. I heard you.
So did.
Do it again.
All right. Where the youth at? The neighbors
Make some noise. That's what
Amen. Anybody got anything to say, Miss?
Thank you.
Okay.
Recapping what we did today, we went over the assignment that needs to be turned in. So those who didn't turn it in, including me, get it in for Sunday. Then we went over our plays and everybody in their spots. And also, sorry, y'all adults. After Saturday dinner, y'all gotta get out. That's a nice way to put it. After Saturday dinner, you gotta get out.
You telling Miss, you doing Miss,
Oh, so y'all.